Our team is assembled with a combination of LTE and voice phone lines at the Google campus in Mountain View, California, and there are literally count them, five black bears in my yard right now. What could possibly go wrong? This is our Android Week with Alan Furstenberg in Mountain View, California, Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia, Duke Carrico in Kingsport, Tennessee, in Mountain View, Cadeas Kalut and Pam Adger, Beware, California. This is a live I.O. edition of our Android Week. Welcome, everyone. So this is, as Craig would say, kludgy. We have, in California, we have our team assembled, and we have our newest member for tonight. So say hello, folks, and introduce our friend Josh.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. I'm from Orange County, California.
All right, Josh is our new spokesman. I'm just kidding, Josh. Okay, Cadeas, welcome. Alan, welcome. Pam, welcome. Tell us about Josh. How do you guys know Josh?
Well, Josh is a software developer. He's doing apps and so on and so forth, and so yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight was this the Kindle Fire phone, the long rumored phone from Amazon. They of course created the Kindle Fire and then the Kindle Fire HD, and I think each of those products has been their number one selling product. So they say. And is this flash in the pan? Thinking lines of the Facebook phone, which really wasn't a physical product as much as a launcher and a wrapper, or is this the real deal? And this is a new contender. I know it comes with a 2-year deal with I assume a conventional, perhaps subsidized agreement. But what do you guys think of this?
You know, this is the sort of thing where if it was free, I think it would be a smash hit. But at the contract price that it's going for, it's not really introducing any real features. It's introducing some interesting features, and I think you're going to see people playing catch-up with it. But I don't think this is going to get too much traction.
What do you think about the comparison to the Facebook phone?
Could,
I'm sorry,
even be on the Play Store. Like with the Play Store missing and the whole 9 yards and a lot of Google services, do you think that it'll continue to even stand?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you know, I think the Amazon store is robust enough at this point that it might work. But, you know, certainly, you know, they've got their own maps. It's interesting they went to Nokia to get the maps. You know, beyond that, people aren't going to be happy that there's no YouTube. Right. People aren't going to be happy there's a couple of other things missing. But beyond maps and YouTube, I don't think it's going to be a big disappointment for anybody.
And it just depends on how integrated they are with YouTube because you can do it through the browser. So it depends on how much they want out of YouTube. So.
Well, not only that, but you know, my Note 3 with the contract was only $200. So this isn't really a savings for most people. If they just go to Verizon, they can get this with everything that they already are familiar with. You know.
I think it's
I think that's it. I mean, if it was free, yeah, they might have a success. But the fact that you're going to have to pay for it with no huge compelling features is I don't see it.
Yeah, I think if there's no YouTube on this thing and no Gmail, you said, I don't. I mean, I see this as a huge fail. I don't see. I would not buy this product.
Huge fail, but I don't see it as majorly compelling. It's got a couple of interesting things. You know, the Parallax 3D, that's nifty, and you're going to see some games written for it. But that's the sort of feature that I think you're going to see a lot of other companies very quickly adapt. You know, there are other features that Amazon is claiming are great that, I don't know, I don't see anybody really caring. I mean, you know, complicated swiping to get to buying stuff. I think the product identify issue, that's kind of neat, but again, that's a feature that, you know, Google's already done stuff with. I don't see it being that compelling.
To put it in perspective, as far as like using the web versions, let's look at Amazon Video. I one time I downloaded a Flash browser. I think not Plume, that's for Twitter, but the whatever. So one of the apps on in the Play Store that will enable Flash, and I tried to watch an Amazon Video on my Nexus 7, and it was just. It worked, but it was so kludgy. I'm not going to do this again. I just don't use Amazon Video on my Nexus device. I just use it on my television or my computer. So I just don't see that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, because Amazon has had very few failures. They have yet to produce a Nexus Q. So we'll see. And it'll be very interesting to follow this. The next thing is. Next Android to switch to ARTVM. I have no freaking clue what that is, but I'm guessing Alan does.
Well, I thought we were also ditching most of the rest of the topics that we had on the list.
We can do that. Do you want to do that and just tell me what's behind you?
Sure, let's start with what's behind us. We're sitting in front of Building 44 at the Googleplex, which is where Android is made. So over our shoulder, you see this big Android on the building itself. You can see, I'm not sure quite how many of the figurines that you can see. Those all represent each version of Android that's been made. It's known as the Android Garden. So I think I'm blocking Honeycomb at the moment.
That's okay.
But yeah, blocking, as Kadesh pointed out, I'm not sure you could hear that. That's a good thing. So there's Kit Kat, and where are we going? There's Gingerbread.
You'd make a nice weatherman, Alan. It's literally a green screen. You're muted.
Don't tell that to Jason. He'll get worried that I'm taking over his job or something.
Absolutely.
So the interesting thing about being in front of this garden is that every time they release a new version of Android, a new major version of Android, a statue shows up here, and we don't see any new statue. So if there's going to be something new released at I/O in just 2 days, they're not tipping their hand yet.
I wonder if they come in the middle of the night, and I mean, it looks like there's not like a foundation that has to be laid, where they would pour cement or something. It kind of seems like they're just sort of. I guess they have to do something serious because I imagine people would try to steal them as souvenirs if they weren't locked down, right?
They are dug into the ground, so there's some mounting certainly, but no, there's not huge robust foundations, I don't think.
So I'll alert our friends at Google that if Gingerbread turns up missing, they should look at Pam Adger's luggage for a leg or an arm or something. So what brings you all to California, and let's get into what you're expecting to happen this week. So
I'm here because starting on Wednesday, I will be attending Google I/O, and Pam and Kadeas are here. Where the hell did you guys come anyway? You actually did want to see me for some strange reason? Oh boy.
Actually, we're here to meet Alan. We've done the show with him for so long that, well, at least I have for 3 years. I mean, it's nice to finally put an actual body to the voice and the face.
Yeah, is he as tall?
He's really not as tall as I thought he would be. So I'm guessing that you, Dan, are shorter than I thought you would be.
All right, so let me ask Josh, what do you have any predictions for I/O or anything you'd like to see or any thoughts about this coming week?
Yeah, I'd sure like to see a lot done with Android Wear. I'd like to see some new devices come out. I've heard some rumors about some things coming out this weekend or this week. Is that right?
Is that right?
Android Wear stuff. Anybody?
Well, Josh, let me ask you this. The two we've seen, we've heard a rumor about a Samsung watch, and we've also heard about the LG G watch and the Moto 360. We've discussed which we prefer. Do you have a preference? The LG, the G is basically looks more like a small phone. It's classy looking, but it's rectangular, and the Moto 360 is round. What do you think if you were buying one? Which would you gravitate toward? Obviously, price will be a factor. Which do you think is better? Which would be more appealing to you?
I haven't used any of them, but I would lean more towards the Moto 360.
Okay.
I'm not sure, just because of the looks.
And of course, price will be a major factor in where people gravitate
Right.
toward. I'd be surprised if we don't see an Amazon Android Wear watch or some branch off of that, right?
Would that be the one you get, Dan?
No,
The
I would not.
Amazon watch?
I will not be wearing the Fire Watch. So what else, Alan? What else should we discuss? How's your trip been? You want to talk about just fun stuff you guys have done? I think you were in prison earlier, right?
We can discuss some more of IO, but we had a great day yesterday. Was that yesterday? I'm already losing track of days.
If everybody can mute except
we had a-
Alan, can everyone mute their mic except Alan?
Yeah, sorry about that. We're having a little bit of audio trouble here. We had a great day yesterday. I was having trouble remembering if it was yesterday or when exactly. Walked around San Francisco, took a harbor cruise, got a great shot of Alcatraz, where we were, I think I captioned it, Dan, wish you were here. And overall we've been having a good time meeting up and chatting. Just, not just about technology and so forth, but about a lot of stuff. It's actually one of the things I posted about earlier today is I had listened to a talk. I'm also here attending a Google Developer Group Summit, and I was able to listen to a speaker this morning talk about the role of communities that are built online. And I think, one of the things that we've seen, this is probably more for a Friday show, but one of the things we've seen is how Google Plus can help foster those communities. Because, the three of us and you would never have met in a million years without something like Google Plus to help facilitate that. And I think because of that, because of all of this technology, I would say we're all for the better. And
Absolutely. I was telling Rodney yesterday, I said, if it hadn't been for the fact that you were a newspaper person and I circled a bunch of media people when I first joined, I never would have basically gotten to know you a little bit so that I felt comfortable enough to appear on one of your Hangout shows. It was like right after video came to Google Plus Week that I joined for the first time. It was like my birthday present, and Alan and Oleg and Jason and someone else that's no longer on the show were all really welcoming and nice, and I felt comfortable, and I just started doing the show, and I never would have done that. I never would have thought to circle Alan because he's a lot more technical than I am in his posts and everything else, and it just never would have happened. And then when Tadeus started actually commenting on YouTube, he's been watching the show forever, and he started commenting on YouTube. We just never would have become friends, and it really was a good thing that that we all joined Google Plus and we became friends. It's kind of like the Motley Crue,
I want to ask you about that. I've always described it as Twitter is where you consume content, Facebook is where you hook up with your old high school friends and your family, and Google Plus is where you make new friends. What has it been like, Pam, to actually meet in person Alan? I know you've met Cadeus before, but we've had like a 3-year relationship, all of us. What's it like to finally? I've met Sarik in person, I've met Craig Shipp in person, but what's it like when you first see him and you're like, hey, what's up, and you shake hands? Is it awkward or awesome, or it's like you just saw him last week, or tell me what that's like.
Like I've known him for 3 years. Actually, there was absolutely no awkwardness, uncomfortableness, nothing. It was as if I saw him last week. And I think being in a hangout with someone for a long period of time just kind of fosters that familiarity, and yeah, absolutely. It's been great.
Yeah, when I met Craig and when I met Sarik, there was none of that awkwardness. Like if you're forced into something like a blind date or a job interview or either as the recipient or the hiring person, whatever, there's always that awkward period at first when you're trying to gauge each other and you're trying to get comfortable. That period is like 15 seconds when you've hung
Yeah.
out for so long with someone online.
Right. I'll give you an example. Last week I met somebody who I've been Google Plus friends with for a couple of years, just circle friends. So basically we have a texting relationship, right? There's no face-to-face video. I've never done a hangout with them or anything like that. And I met up with him, and I was very nervous about that, about meeting him for the first time and hanging out with him for the weekend or for the night. And it was very, I don't know, it was disconcerting at first because you kind of have to feel your way or whatever, and it wasn't even like that at all with Alan. It was instantly comfortable. Okay, what are we going to do? I had no problem, taking charge of the group as I always do, and telling them what to do, where we're going, that kind of thing. So it was great.
Pam is definitely the organizer amongst us, for sure. She keeps us in line. Pam's in charge. And also, Alan couldn't try anything crazy because there were witnesses. So, So, Cadeus, what has it been like for you to meet Alan after knowing him for a couple of years, a year or so?
It was a little different. I didn't expect him. I expected him to be taller only because of what everybody told me. Oh, he's tall, he's tall. So I expected him to be taller. So I was like, Josh, scoot the seat back, make sure it's all the way back, because he's a skyscraper. He didn't turn out to be as tall as I thought he was, but but no, it's been really interesting to actually be able to network with somebody that thinks on the same level as I do, and so yeah, it's been a good.
Awesome.
Yep.
So Alan, I know you've been to California before. I know that Josh and Pam live out there. I guess Josh or Cadeus and Pam, and I assume Josh is in Orange County. But Alan, any thing cool about the food or any things you've seen or anything like that has struck you as awesome there?
The thing I like about San Francisco specifically, there are cities that are generic. You see them and you're not quite sure what city you're in. San Francisco ain't one of them. San Francisco has a character.
It does.
And looking at San Francisco's character and walking through San Francisco, it's a world unto itself. And coming out to the Google campus, every time I'm out here, it remains a neat place. I mean, I've been to this garden now several times. But every time it's just kind of neat to see. And it's constantly growing. I'm having my meetings this morning were in a building that I didn't know Google owned, half a mile or a mile away from here, which caught us somewhat by surprise. So the change and the dynamic and the energy that you feel around this place is always really neat. I like it a lot. And that's the same kind of thing that you see with I/O itself. It's why I like I/O, because you have this energy around it, this very positive can-do, we can do anything, and we can help you do anything. And that's kind of what Google I/O and what the developer stuff instills in me is, yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can figure out how to do it. I can help others do it.
I got to ask you guys, how big are those statues in real life when you get up to them?
They're actually smaller than they look. We're quite. You've seen pictures. We will have pictures posted of all of us standing next to them. Okay, Pam's going back to stand next to the ice cream sandwich one now. And you can see we're a little bit away, but the Kit Kat one, it's about 6 feet high, a little bit taller. No, it's a little bit taller than 6 feet. So you can see Pam comes up to about the shoulder.
Okay.
On the Kit Kat device.
This is so cool. You guys are there.
That one's just probably about an Allen and a half. It's probably the best way to measure that one.
That is the standard of measurement we use on the program. 1.5 Allens is. I'm not sure if that's metric or British. Okay. So anything else of note that have you heard any rumors about next week about what to expect? I'm starting to see some things. I've heard people say that Google Plus is sluggish, and there's, of course, immediate speculation that they're getting ready to push out some new goodies. What do you think, Alan?
I don't think so. I mean, the developer site just got a revamp today. So if you go to developers.google.com, which most of you won't know or care about, it just got a visual refresh, and Google Plus continues to be featured as part of that refresh. So I don't think Google Plus is going anywhere. At the same time, I also don't think we're going to see anything majorly different about it from tomorrow. If we do, hopefully it'll just be developer focused, but I'm not expecting anything. Of course, we're going to see where is going to be the big subject of the whole thing, where and glass. I'm predicting we'll see a bunch of cloud-based stuff. We'll see a lot of HTML5 and Polymer stuff. But I got to tell you, the big question in my mind is what's going to be the surprise, because there's always a surprise every year. And I've in talking to some other people, I think a lot of people are wondering if it's going to be something that's related to their purchase of Nest. So there's a session at I/O about programming for the Nest. I wouldn't rule out if we see some other Nest-based announcements or some broader, Google at home announcements. They've been talking Google at home for 3 years now. We're finally really seeing it with the Chromecast. That I think that might be the surprise of I/O.
And this is one of those times. This is one of those rare times when Google, their more geeky side is in the mainstream news. I mean, they normally they make news when they have a big product unveil like Glass or driverless cars. But now I'm already seeing things on CNN or Yahoo News. Google's big conference is starting, so a lot of eyes are watching. Let me ask Josh: are you a power user or are you a developer? What kind of Android stuff are you into?
I recently just got started with Android development a few months ago, but I definitely use Android all the time.
Now, are you gonna? Are
You don't have very much of a choice.
Yeah, no choice.
Josh, what is your interest? Is it like in the gaming side, or like as far as if you said you're getting into development? Are you interested in like doing like consumer apps or games or business apps? What's your motivation there? What's your level of interest or area of interest?
Mainly consumer business apps, but recently I've been starting to get into game development as well.
Awesome.
Haven't built anything interesting yet, but hopefully that'll be soon.
Yeah, I used to teach game development back in the Pascal days, and we would have the kids make a tic-tac-toe game because it was real simple. Everyone knows all the rules, so it was real easy. It wasn't Castle Wolfenstein, but it was functional. Anything big coming up on Google Plus Week Friday, Alan? I think we're going to discuss this little Google conference, I guess, right?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be trying to do some hangouts or at least some posts nightly from either from I/O or when I get back to my room after I/O. After the I/O session, and on Friday I will be trying to join you from the airport during Google Plus Week. The rest of the gang, I'm sure, will be covering and talking about all of the exciting stuff that happened in I/O, and I'll try to be joining in and sharing my thoughts.
Awesome. And worst case, we'll bring you in audio. I think we've done that before if you don't have enough Wi-Fi.
Well, we seem to be doing it now, so it seems to be working okay.
Absolutely. This is neat. This is high tech. I think we're actually using Pam's laptop, right?
No, this is Cadeas' Pixel. You might remember the Pixel. You referred to it as a ghetto device last year.
I think that's exaggerated.
Do you want me to find the video, Dan?
This coming from the guy who actually used his Nexus Q and liked it. And not just
Hey, I like
prop
the
the door
Nexus.
open when the UPS guy came.
Say that.
Say again, Cadeas?
I said I like the Nexus 2. I just didn't get one. So
I think this has gone well. This is probably better than the first night lines with Ted Koppel during the Iranian hostage crisis, when they was our first taste of satellite television, and you would ask a question and wait like a minute and get a response, and you couldn't speak, until they were done because there was a delay. It was kind of ghetto. So this has been fun. Any final thoughts?
I think the final thought is, we are really sitting in front of where every single one of your phones probably got its start, where all of the code's happening. We're sitting in the heart of where internet searches, where revolutions are being built. It's exciting, and I think the one message I want to say is, you can be a part of it. You don't need to be here to be a part of it. It's kind of inspiring. I'm looking at Pam and Cadeas. I'm inspired to go back and do more. I hope all of our viewers, all 10 of you or whatever, are similarly inspired. And I hope that's the sort of thing that we can help you do.
Let me ask Pam, because you're a recent convert to Android. What was it like for you to walk on that garden and see those figures for the first time that are so famous in text media? Iconic photographs. What was that like when you finally got to see it?
Last year,
Yeah, right behind you there.
it was great. Yeah, I mean, I've been here before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So last year on my birthday, we were here, and I did. I actually bit the Android statue. Have a picture of me biting it.
You're the one. I think you served
We don't want to know where you did it.
I think it was 20. They're not anatomically correct, thank God. Or Pam would have spent the night in jail.
Yeah, I wouldn't use my teeth on that. So
Pam's got some skills.
The
Okay.
conversation's going downhill rapidly.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts from anybody? All right, Josh. Thanks so much. It was great meeting you.
Good. Just a final thought from here. Farewell to everyone from the Android Garden in Mountain View, California.
Absolutely. This has been awesome. Thank you guys. And our program, Our Android Week, is every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, unless we're setting up in the Android Garden and we're slightly late. Our other program is Google Plus Week. That's this Friday, and we'll be talking about I/O, everything and all that good stuff about Google I/O conference. That's this Friday and every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your live comments. We appreciate that. And be sure to look out for Yifat Cohen. And until next time, have a wonderful Android week. Thanks.